Hey everyone, we are back. This is BK Motors of Mayhem, and we are going to be slapping back together the Kawasaki Avenger. Also, I did get an exciting package in the mail. I was finally able to find a very specific part I was looking for this bike, and finally got it in, and I was able to go pick it up, and that is the side panel. I know it's not the same color, but we can rectify that very easily. Probably not in this video, but we will paint this up, clean it up, and make it look like brand new again. And the inside's not the greatest either, but don't worry, we'll fix that. But as I said, like in this week's video, it's going to be mainly putting it back together and putting the side cover back on. And I'm hoping later on to start the bike after again to see if we got this all right. Because if I'm not mistaken, I believe when I put the clutch on, I believe it has to be timed with the crank properly. I think. I'm not 100%. I'll have to check the manual on that one. But if it's wrong, it's not going to start. So that's the plan for this week's video. So with no further ado, we're going to dive right in and get this thing put back together. So the first thing we're going to do is clean the old gasket off the cover. So that'll take me a little bit. Bear with me. We'll get that cleaned up, get that off. We'll put the new one on, and then we'll start slapping this back together. So I'm just going to go ahead, like most of you guys have probably done before in the past. Take a razor blade. I got a knife. And just scrape it off. So now I'm just going to try some steel wool just to run along here and clean up the gasket a bit, which ain't really working that great, but give it a try, see what happens. Okay, so I got the cover cleaned up and I have referred to the manual because the next step is installing the clutch. I did, as some of you might be wondering, previously put all this back together. I did that off camera a few days ago. I had went ahead and done that just so I could go ahead and shift through the gears still and make sure everything was okay. So yes, we are not having to deal with that because I already did. So now I have all this lined up, I believe, how it should be. Next is just to slap the clutch on and verify that everything is still lined up. Okay, so the clutch appears to be on and correct. There is a timing mark here and here, and a timing mark on this gear here and on the clutch there, which according to the manual, the picture they provide right here and here appear to be correct. So now with that done, we're going to go ahead, put the bolt back in for the clutch and the washer, and then slowly start and put this back together. I believe after that will be the cover. I don't think there's much else. Maybe a couple other little things, and then we'll be moving on from there. And there we go. That should be good. That goes right there. Okay, so the cover is back on. It was a little tricky, but I did get it. Have to be very careful. There's almost like a bearing housing in here. then the actual lever that the clutch cable attaches to, then another bearing housing. So you almost have to hold the two together and then be mindful of the third that's up against the clutch. Those are what engage and disengage the clutch. So you have to be very careful of that and make sure they stay in place. If not, you're taking the cover right back off and putting it back on and resetting bearings. And then, of course, you have your kickstart, and that just will fight you no matter what on any bike with any kind of cover that you're dealing with. So there is that to keep in mind. So now we have the cover all bolted back in and good. Damn lot of bolts on that thing. Now I'm going to go ahead and put in the banjo bolt. That's what this is, banjo bolt. It's got the little hole in it and it's hollow for the oil injection. That is what this is. This is what injects the oil into the chamber. And there we go. She's good, nice and tight and snug. Now I'm going to double check the clutch, make sure that is happy. And as you can see, it's functioning just as it should. So that is perfect. Now, what we're going to do next is we are going to install the carburetor, which is rather easy on these bikes. I mean, heck, I think running the fuel line is a little more of a pain in the butt than it is to install a carburetor. It's got to go through all this jumble. It's not as bad as the other side, but geez. And then it'll hook up right like that. installed. Now for the carburetor, which is just one simple screw right there. And the carburetor is done. Super easy install on these, except for lining up all these. If you remember from one of the previous videos, I kept forgetting the alignment of these, and it was a real pain in the butt. But super easy to install. Probably one of my favorite carburetors to do. Like so. Yep, that's how she was. So we got it back together. She is all back and operational. As you can see, kicker works. Everything is good to go. We didn't check the shifting. Haven't done that yet. I did check it though a few days ago when I put those pieces on off camera, and it was still shifting just fine. So I'm pretty happy with it. She's back. She's looking good. I know I could have painted some of these covers, but I didn't feel like digging into that today. And frankly, I'm out of primer as well, so I need to pick some of that up. And I think it might just be a little easier and better to maybe paint it on the bike, some of these covers, instead of taking them off. But I'm figuring we'll deal with that another day down the road. We still have lots of work to do other than worrying about paint. and cosmetics. So that will about wrap it up for me for today. I'm going to go inside, make some dinner, perhaps have a cold snack or two. And then we'll be right back at it again tomorrow. And we will try and start it and see if we can get to run after we did the work that we did. We won't shift it or anything. I'm not going to put oil in it because if you remember, we still have to extract the broken off drain plug, which I did get a new old stock drain plug for it. So that we will be doing at a later date. So with that said, I will see you guys tomorrow. Hey everyone, welcome back. This is BK Motors of Mayhem. I know it's been a little while. This video was supposed to come out last week, but in between filming there, I had actually injured myself, as you can tell. No, I'm only kidding. My arm is right here, fully intact, other than some second-degree burns. I had actually tripped and fallen on my wood stove and severely burned my arm. So I've been healing. I've been doing rather well, and it's much better today. So I figured I'd hop right back on that saddle and get back to where we left off with the Avenger. So if memory serves me correct, we were just about to try and start this, dump some fuel in it, give her some kicks over, and see if she would fire up and run. So I think that is where we will pick up. So she needs some fuel. Oh yeah, just spill it all over. That's good. That's good stuff. And there is one piece I would like to do, which is this side cover. I believe I showed you guys this earlier on in this video. Again, it's been a little bit, so memory's a little fuzzy. But I shall go ahead and slap this on and make her a little more complete. Now this is extremely easy to put on. If I can see, there it is. And it's on. So now she is complete, other than the seat. Super cool. And in doing so, I just realized that probably needs to come off to put the battery in. So there is that. And now it doesn't want to come off. There it is. Okay. All right, we'll leave that off. We'll pretend that never happened. Okay. Okay, there it is. Now we should have lights, camera action. Yes. And I don't believe I talked about this when we were filming, but when I did have to move this, I did find out that it was in gear, so I had to shift it, and it did shift perfectly fine, and I was able to get it into neutral. So I think it was in first or second or fifth or something like that. And I had to shift it down to put it into neutral to get it to move. And neutral light still works, says it is in neutral. And I think I got a high beam light on or something going on here. There it is. That's better. Okay, choke. Now, she might be a little particular as it was before because I think it's that side carburetor that I replaced. Yes, I believe. The choke isn't hooked up for it. So I only have the choke working on a one carburetor. So she might be a little hesitant to start. So we'll go ahead and see if all that hard work we did correctly, and if she will start. All right, so I think everything is good. I think everything is in place. We'll try it, see what happens. Oh, you know what? fuel on would definitely help. All right, everyone. So as you saw, that was fantastic. She is timed and back together how she's supposed to be. Again, if you don't remember, well, you'll remember because you'll have watched the video all as one. For me, this is about a week or so ago. So we did the clutch and we had to time it, put it back together correctly. And then after, I wanted to verify, make sure that it would still start and run and that was timed correctly. And as you saw, we did just that. She was a little cold-blooded and not want to start up right away, as you seen. Need a little help with some go-go juice, but again, it could be the carbs are a little dirty again from sitting. Who knows? But she is back up and running again, just as good as she was back when we first fired her up. So with that said, I'm going to wrap up this week's video. As for the week after, I'm not too sure. Again, we're playing it by ear here with my burn. All depends on how I'm doing and how I'm feeling for filming. So we shall see about that. But there will be videos released. I will be working back on the Avenger. So until next time, guys, this is BK Motors of Mayhem out, and I'll see you in the next one.